right side.
Well, when my good friend Caleb invited me out on a winter boat trip, I thought he must be crazy, but the sun came out, and so we couldn't wait to get out there. As he has to test his engines every once in a while, you know, in the winter time, I thought I'd accompany him and his dog Sheila out on a winter boat trip. So come along and join us, wherever you are, for a winter boat trip in British Columbia. Boating in January. Look at the water out here. It's as calm as a summer afternoon.
And almost as warm.
And almost as warm. The sun's out, and we're just heating up the boat engines. Could let it just idle, but this is more fun. And there's another ship that's come in too. Look out there.
Stacked up for Vancouver. Yeah, probably the fourth one around the corner.
Genoa Bay. We got Caleb, our guide, our usual guide. Even on these shows for a few years now, isn't that right, Caleb?
Boating is a part of my life. I can't imagine being without it.
I mean, you know, you gotta be a real diehard to come out here in January, I would think.
We used to be out here every other weekend in January. Never mind the weather or the temperature.
Well, the thing is, when you own a boat, you gotta take advantage of it because it costs money, right?
If you're not using it, why have it? Too many boats sit all year long. Maybe you use 2 weeks out of the year. I use my boat. That's what it's for.
This way you can justify the expense anyway.
Some people live on their boat.
Well, I could see that coming up in my future, maybe yours too. I don't know, like 6 months out of the year would be awesome.
Terry lived on his boat here at Genoa Bay for many years.
It looks like a city out there. Look at the size of that thing. So you say these boats are stacked up here because they can't get into port in Vancouver?
They're waiting. Port's backed up. Shipping traffic is up. Vancouver wants to expand. Seattle wants to build another port to compete.
Tacoma. I mean, they're using that one too, right?
It's busy, and it all goes on the rail.
Yeah, these are big ships out here. Now, what's the superstructure of that thing's all about? Booming product aboard.
Yeah, yes, and I don't recognize the type of ship. I don't know what type of product it is.
And it's loaded though. That one's really low in the water.
It's low in the water.
Coming into Cowichan Bay here.
So Dave, if you haven't been to the Maritime Society dock here in Cowichan Bay, and I mean like to actually go in and visit the museum, that's quite a destination which you can get to by car or by boat.
Yes, and they have the wooden boat history, and they give classes in construction of wooden boats.
Yeah, we're coming up on their dock right here. We'll take a swing by there. And of course there are some very nice restaurants in here.
There are, and we like the idea of patronizing them, but
it's a nice little museum.
It gets crowded here particularly in the summertime, right?
Oh yeah, it's a destination. There's a large public dock. It's usually a raft up situation.
Yeah, it's pretty packed in here. There's still room at the dinghy dock, though. This time of year there would be, but I guess in the summertime that gets really packed up.
It's full. It fills up in here. A lot of boats are in for the winter now. They get winter moorage, and then from May or whatever, they'll be out on the hook or out cruising until next fall.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet.
That's the right side. That's the right side.
Separation Point. Looking pretty nice on a day like this. We should just go around the point and look up the channel for fun. It's not that far away.
It's right here.
Oh, here we go.
Unbelievably calm.
So calm. It's just like a big bathtub right now. And even in the summer, it can be lumpy as hell in here. So that's Salt Spring there, folks, and then the separation point here, and Genoa Bay back there, of course. So this is Musgrave Landing ahead of us here. And they like to charge you for mooring there. They come down and collect money off of you. And that's a gateway to northern waters from down here. And there's rapids in there.
Oh yeah.
Actually, this is the time of year you should go boating, right? If you want privacy down the southern island group.
Oh yeah.
Come out here.
Stolen moments, days like this.
And we could go to Indian there and short tie, have a nice powwow.
Nice day to have a beach fire and cook some sausages.
Yeah. Not a soul around. Other times you fight for an anchorage. This is awesome weather we're having today.
Yeah, think about last year this time. Stolen moments, you pick a day. But you can't count on it.
No, you can't count on this kind of weather. I mean, yesterday it was stormy and storm warning. Winds predicted to be.
I used to do that. A friend had a little 26-foot sailboat. We would just pick a day and go.
Regardless.
Christmas Eve one year we went out for a nice sail on the Gulf Islands.
Christmas Day, yeah. Now you can get like rip tides through here, right at that point.
Oh yeah. When it starts coming down Samson Narrows there. It's starting to form a little bit in the water now, the tide chain.
So there's Genoa Bay coming up. They've got some new houses up on the hill.
That is the end of the road.
All too soon, it's the end of our day. We've enjoyed being out here, and I hope you have too. With our winter sea trials over, it's time to bring the boat back to the boathouse. I'm your host, Dave Harding. Thanks for joining us.
That's the right side. That's the right side.
Welcome to Coastal Cruising. After a lovely afternoon, winter cruising in British Columbia, Caleb's bringing the boat back to the boathouse for the rest of the storage winter season coming up. Stay tuned for some boating tips as we explore some of the benefits of living in British Columbia. We're going to put it back in the shed here?
Yeah.
Home sweet home.
Okay, so this is a boater tip because everybody has to fight a little bit of moisture, whether it's your boat, your car, your garage, your spare room, or whatever. Very simple design. It's just a piece of old stovepipe, a half piece. We do a little cutout down there for the cold, dark, dank air to come in. A little plywood base, and you mount a light bulb. And you use a real light bulb, one with a filament. So an incandescent, a halogen. The best ones are the long life, 130 volt rough duty bulbs, 5,000 hours. One bulb all season, cabin stays nice and dry. So this is a boater tip because we all have to fight a little moisture problem in our vessels and possibly our cars, our garage, spare room, whatever. So this uses physics. It takes the cold, dank air from the floor, sucks it in through these little cutouts. Light bulb heats it up, sends it up the chimney, sets up a convection current that goes round and round in the cabin and adds a little bit of heat. We put a 130 volt rough duty light bulb in there, a real one with a filament, to make that little bit of heat. Fuels the whole thing, keeps the cabin nice and dry all winter.
So thanks for joining us on Coastal Cruising.
That's the right side.
Okay, we're back. I'm here with my new friends, Mike and Peggy O'Brien, and we're aboard the Euphemia, which is a 1928 vessel. We're going to show you some pictures later. And they're just proud as can be about this boat, and so would I be if I owned it, because they really looked after it. And we're going to learn a little bit about the association that these people belong to.
Southern California, Northern California, Pacific Northwest,
and it's the Classic Yacht Association. And you can see it online. If you just search Classic Yacht Association, it'll come up, and it's all kinds of information for boaters who own wooden boats and are a little bit crazy.
That's true.
Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
But you don't get out of control with it, okay? Folks, the idea is to do a little bit every year, and don't let it get away from you, and at the same time you can still enjoy your boat. Isn't that right?
That's right. Well, my friend the shipwright always tells me that this is not a grand piano. This is a boat, so let's go boating.
Let's go boating, folks, and that's what this series is all about. You see me doing it all the time. And, you know, it's also an excuse to do other things. You know, like partying and making yourself a delicious seafood dinner and sharing it with your fellow boaters.
It's a tough life, but somebody's got to do it.
So we're going to maybe have a look inside.
Yep.
And go around the boat, so stay tuned. We'll be right back. And thanks for watching Coastal Cruising Television. The yappy dog over there.
That's the right side.